This video is designed as a guideline to spot a charlatan, and hopefully steer you away from their sacred knowledge and snake oils. So, charlatans commonly use terms that oftentimes confuse or intrigue the customer, much like business jargon. As an example, Joel Seidman uses a hodgepodge of terms like intricate joint angle, eccentric, isometric, concentric, offset, chaos, and many more, all while shamelessly selling his expensive programming, books, and patented equipment. If you have a problem with what he says, just read the article with loosely cited studies in the link in the bio. It won't answer anything, it'll just make you more confused and maybe a little bit more intrigued as well. Know that while the charlatan exists, no one else can, because their epiphanies or sacred knowledge is so exclusive to them, they must staunchly be on the attack against any threat. The most egregious offender of this would be Naughty Aguilar of Functional Patterns, or maybe even the Goda people. Functional Patterns will attack the use of any weights, yoga, and very, very commonplace stretching modalities. Goda will outright deem science as the enemy.
Pack, release, pack, release, pack, release. It's not good. Really, you should be bench pressing like you're throwing a punch. Pack, corner.
Hey, wait a minute.
Now, you're probably asking, Zach, isn't that exactly what you're doing right now? Aren't you attacking them? The thing is, the listed charlatans I've discussed actually have fine ideas and even have beneficial results. Functional Patterns promotes joint stability and mobility with the use of multi-dimensional movements. Goda focuses on increasing the capacity in the foot and ankle complex while avoiding valgus in the foot and knee to promote better overall performance. And Joel Seidman, well, he just does really weird stuff. However, I take issue in their lambasting of other established methodologies with zero, and I really mean zero science.
All right, everybody. Coach Gilga, the movement, saving oils connective tissue using the ancient geometry, vortex math, Fibonacci sequence numbers, and golden ratio patterning.
Anything that doesn't directly relate to the playing field, court, or pool, and most importantly, within the bounds of the charlatan's system, is deemed null and void. What we have learned over time while using the gym to supplement sport is that general qualities like strength, power, mobility, and stability can and will improve performance. This would mean that most activity to increase those things can and should be perceived as general. The Seidman, Goda, Functional Patterns approaches are general. On the other side, the approach a sport coach would take to perfect an athlete's jump shot, swing of a bat, or pass of a ball, those are specific. So when a charlatan coach continually uses the "when are you going to see an athlete pick up a barbell in the middle of the field" quote, they are disingenuous because the same can be said about any movement that the charlatan performs. And if that charlatan is adamant about the use of their training as specific, then I guarantee you a sport coach can implement it better, or else they would just be sport coaches. I like to use the Olympic lifts, i.e. the clean and jerk and the snatch, as well as their variants, as examples of the charlatan's lust for exclusivity, as they commonly represent the enemy of the charlatan.
If Olympic lifting is going to make you a better football player, then vice versa. Playing football should make you a better Olympic weightlifter, shouldn't it? So what you're telling me is all our Olympic weightlifters in the off-season should play football. And if Olympic lifting is so great and makes you such a better athlete, why are we wasting our time recruiting and drafting athletes? We just go to the Olympic Training Center, line up Olympic weightlifters and play football. It doesn't happen. Two primary skills, they're not going to be very good at it because everybody has a learning curve and the time and complexity of the movement and the time it takes to teach it. You ain't got that much time, especially in the NFL.
While this strength coach is not a charlatan, he's actually an NFL strength coach from back in the day. He is a good representation of the logical fallacies that are commonly drawn with the use of weaponized specificity.
They're general movement patterns that we try to make specific to the sport of football, and it's not specific. It's that simple. Remember, strength training is nothing more than one thing. It's GPP for the athlete. They're not going to be very good at it, so give them things they can't mess up. And ask yourself every day, what can we do and what can't we do to enable them to do what they do? We're training athletes, not Olympic weightlifters.
So what's interesting here is that he contradicts himself within seconds. He says Olympic weightlifting won't make you a better football player, or else you would just send football players to be Olympic weightlifters and vice versa. That would make the Olympic lifts a general skill to a football player. And then immediately he says that training is nothing more than GPP for an athlete. Therefore, Olympic lifting would be beneficial because by his previous statement, it is a general skill to a football player. The other argument he makes is that the skill acquisition and the time it takes to properly implement the Olympic lifts is too vast. Well, if you're a poor coach at teaching the Olympic lifts, then yes, this is the case. There are coaches, myself included, who implement these movements safely, effectively, and efficiently. The fault of the coach is not endemic of the movement itself. These are athletes we are dealing with. If you believe they don't have the capacity to learn and achieve a power clean or a power snatch or any overhead movements safely and effectively, you're really diminishing the capability of said athlete. Take a look at the variety of Paul Jackson's programming. He's the strength and conditioning coach for the Utah State football team. Sprint, plyometric, agility, durability, Olympic, strength movements are all performed very well by these athletes. They perform a gamut of general to more specific skills exceedingly well. We aren't trying to make athletes into Olympic weightlifters when they snatch and clean and jerk, just like we aren't trying to make them into powerlifters when they squat, bench, and deadlift. These movements have been shown to increase rate of force development, unlike the powerlifts. Just by getting a little better at them without the goal of completely and specifically optimizing them is a worthwhile endeavor. I didn't really mean for this video to be a defense against the use of Olympic lifts. In fact, I will go through cycles of training with athletes and never use them. All I'm trying to say is that the charlatan conflates the promotion of their method with the denigration of all other methods. They commonly claim that they are open and that the old guard is not advanced enough for them, when in reality, they are just as closed off to new ideas as any. So be on the lookout for a charlatan and don't let them pull the wool over your eyes.